All right, strap yourself in, because today we are going up and away to the floating world of Laputa from Studio Ghibli's Castle in the Sky. But we're not just going to, gaze at the scenery, are
Yeah,
we?
no, 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 no.
We're going to get down and dirty with the behind-the-scenes stuff,
The nitty-gritty.
the stuff that makes you go, hold on.
It's always more than a pretty picture with Miyazaki.
Right.
There are so many layers, like an onion of brilliance.
Okay. So let's start with Pazu's mining town. All the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
And grime.
Yeah.
And that crazy round-the-clock work schedule. It's all very dot specific. Like, why?
Well, if you think back to the Industrial Revolution,
Okay.
real mining towns were brutal, like super dangerous. That nonstop work wasn't just like artistic license. It was life imitating art. Or, maybe it's the other way around.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That makes those super fast elevators that Pazu uses even more terrifying.
Well, for sure.
800 meters in under 30 seconds. Manually controlled.
It's insane.
Yeah. Someone who designed that thing had a serious death wish.
I guess you could say high risk, high reward. I mean, miners were some of the best paid workers, but they definitely earned every penny.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about how economic realities push people to do crazy things.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of pushing boundaries, can we talk about all the steampunk stuff in the movie?
Yeah.
I mean, Miyazaki went all out with the steam-powered everything, airships and robots,
Of course.
even those dragonfly-like planes.
Right.
So cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he definitely had some historical inspiration to work with. Like, don't forget those early steam engines.
Right.
Good old Thomas Newcomen invented his to pump water out of mines.
That's so boring.
Yeah. But from there, it was full steam ahead to trains and ships, and eventually Miyazaki's imagination.
I mean, so basically, we can thank Saki Mines for all the cool steampunk stuff and Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
That's kind of poetic, actually,
Yeah.
when you think about it.
It is, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's more to flying tech in this film than just steam. I mean, Miyazaki gives us, 4 different types, and they all have their own little quirks.
Oh, okay, I like this. Hit me. What are they?
Okay, so we've got the classic airship, the big one, and then we've got the dragonfly aircraft with the flapping wings,
Right.
and then there's the flight stone.
Right.
Super mysterious.
Oh, and don't forget those giant robots.
Yes.
Covered in moss.
You're covered in moss.
What a lineup. Okay, let's break it down one by one. Let's start with the airship. What's the deal with that?
Well, the airship is pretty straightforward, right? It's basically your classic Zeppelin, that iconic rigid airship.
Oh, yeah.
From World War I. Classic design for a reason.
Classic. Okay, but what about those dragonfly aircraft? Those are so cool, but how do they even work? Artificial muscles.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, remember those early experiments with electricity and frog legs? It's
Right.
kind of like that, right?
Mhm.
Electrical impulses that trigger movement. It doesn't really matter if it's a frog leg or a dragonfly wing. The concept is really similar.
So, are dragonfly-powered helicopters in our future? Count me in.
Maybe.
Although I'm not sure how I feel about a giant metal insect hovering over my house.
I don't know about that, but hey,
Huh?
at least those early bioelectricity experiments, they paved the way for understanding how our nerves and muscles work.
It's true.
Right, so who knows? What's in store for the future?
Okay, so what about the flight stone? That's got to be pure fantasy, right?
Yeah.
A glowing rock that makes things float. Come on.
Yeah, the flight stone remains a mystery, doesn't it?
Or no?
But it just perfectly embodies how Miyazaki blends fantasy and science so seamlessly.
It's true.
He wants us to just suspend our disbelief for a second,
Yeah.
and just enjoy the ride.
And speaking of suspending disbelief,
Mm-hmm.
did you know that Miyazaki originally imagined Laputa as a 7-layered city? 7.
Oh, it's true.
So ambitious.
It's wild. And each layer had a specific function, but we only ever get to see the very top one in the film. The sacred realm, the royal residence, all the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, right? Who was actually keeping the lights on? Who was growing the food, taking care of everything?
Right.
All the everyday stuff.
Imagine the logistics of a floating city. The farms and the workshops and the...
And the plumbing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's those unanswered questions that make Castle in the Sky so fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
We get a glimpse into this incredible world, but he leaves so much to our imaginations.
It's true. It's great.
It is. Welcome back to our deep dive into Castle in the Sky. We left off talking about all the headaches of running a floating city, but there are some even bigger questions that we need to address.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Why is the city even called Laputa? I feel like we've been here before. It's giving me some serious Gulliver's Travels vibes.
It's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Miyazaki is directly referencing Swift's work.
Okay.
Like he's drawing from this rich history of speculative fiction
Okay.
that's fascinated with exploring utopian societies.
Right.
And,
Their inevitable downfalls.
ooh, okay, utopian societies. That sounds interesting. What's the connection?
Well, Swiss Laputa is this super advanced civilization, right?
Yeah.
Technologically. But they also have some major flaws. They're so obsessed with abstract thought, science, that they've lost touch with, like, basic human stuff. Needs, emotions, all that.
Okay, I see. So it's kind of like those Laputan scientists in the film who are fixated on studying the robots while everything's falling apart around them.
Exactly. It's like this warning. It's woven into both stories. Be careful about losing your humanity when you chase knowledge and power.
Wow. I mean, that's a pretty relevant message for us today, too.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in all the latest tech, the constant information overload,
Total.
and forget about, like, actually connecting with people.
Sure.
Empathy, a good laugh, all the important things.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think Castle in the Sky reminds us that technology should make our lives better, not become our whole life.
Right. Speaking of control, what about Muska? He's definitely power hungry, but there's this layer of delusion there, too, that's almost comical. Like, what's his deal?
Muska is such a fascinating character. I mean, this guy truly believes he's a descendant of Laputan royalty.
Wow.
Destined to rule. He's got all the family trees, all the secret knowledge. It's like Shakespearean, almost.
Wow. So he's on this mission to reclaim his lost legacy,
Huh.
but with a little bit of megalomania sprinkled on top.
Exactly. He wants Laputa's technology because he thinks it's his birthright, like a weapon to use. And it's all very dramatic and over the top, isn't it?
Yeah, which makes the irony of Laputa's destruction even better.
Yeah.
The very technology he wants destroys him in the end. Talk about a cautionary tale.
Right. It just shows that even the most advanced technology can't fix basic human flaws.
Like greed.
Greed, ambition, and a love for dramatic entrances, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's talk about the robots.
Yes.
They're definitely more than just machines. There's something kind of spiritual about them, right? Almost like they have this ancient wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to Sheeta. They're very protective of her.
You're right. Remember those scenes where the robots react to Sheeta? Like when the robot gives her the flower?
Yes.
It's so sweet.
So poetic.
It's like they recognize her. Like they see her as a rightful heir to Laputa.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not just about bloodlines. There's something deeper there.
Wow. Yeah, it really hints that there's this deep connection between the Laputans and their creations. What if the robots weren't just tools or weapons, but like companions, protectors, like echoes of a lost civilization?
That's a great point. It adds another layer to how Miyazaki looks at technology, right? Like, what if tech could be more than just functional? What if it could be empathetic, even spiritual?
Whoa. Mind blown. That makes me think about all the conversations about AI we're having today.
For sure.
Can we create something that doesn't just think, but actually feels, understands right and wrong? Are we even ready for that?
It's a big question, isn't it? Like, as AI becomes more and more advanced, we need to be really careful.
Yeah.
And think about the ethics involved. We don't want it to control us.
For sure. Okay, let's get back down to earth for a minute. You mentioned that Castle in the Sky was a commentary on the Industrial Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that?
Sure. I mean, the film is set during a time of, like, massive technological change, kind of like the Industrial Revolution. And just like back then, we see both the good and the bad. The progress and the innovation, but also the exploitation, the damage to the environment, the social unrest. Like Pazu's mining town, right? They have hard work, a strong community, but they're also dealing with pollution and danger.
Right.
It's a system that's not fair.
It's that classic story of the haves and the have-nots.
Exactly.
The people at the top are living the good life while everyone else is struggling.
Right. And Miyazaki doesn't shy away from those critiques.
Yeah.
He wants us to see the human cost of progress, the way it affects the environment and the people who are most vulnerable.
I mean, it's incredible how he takes all these really complex themes and weaves them into this action-packed, visually beautiful story.
It's true.
There's something for everyone. Thrilling chases, quiet moments of reflection.
Speaking of reflection, the film doesn't let us forget about how powerful nature is. Like, Laputa may be this technological wonder.
Right.
But it's still deeply connected to nature.
Oh, totally. That giant tree in the middle of the city,
Yes.
it's like the city's heart. It's a symbol of how beautiful and serene Laputa once was.
And even after everything falls apart, that tree is still there.
Yeah.
A symbol of how resilient nature is, the way life and death are connected.
Yeah. It reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, we're still part of the natural world.
Totally.
We can't escape it.
We depend on it.
It shapes us.
Yeah, we have to take care of it.
Exactly. Castle in the Sky is all about finding that balance, living with nature instead of trying to dominate it.
You got it.
I'm noticing a pattern here. Miyazaki seems to be connecting what happens to Laputa with what could happen to us. Like, what if we focus on technology too much at the expense of everything else?
That's a good point. And it's definitely relevant, especially with climate change and the environmental crisis we're facing.
Right. Okay, one last question before we wrap up this part.
Yeah.
How does that 9th century UFO sighting fit into all of this? Like, was Miyazaki actually inspired by it?
It's possible. Limagonia was described as this huge round object in the sky.
Sounds familiar.
Right. I mean, it's not hard to imagine that image sticking with Miyazaki, especially because he loves flying machines so much.
It's just amazing to think about all the real-world stuff, the legends and history that might have influenced Castle in the Sky. Like, anything is possible. All right, we're back for the final part of our Castle in the Sky deep dive.
The grand finale.
We've covered so much: history, technology, social commentary. But I feel like there's still more to uncover. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've just scratched the surface. Like, we haven't even talked about all the visual details, the symbolism, all those little clues that Miyazaki leaves for us.
Ooh, okay, I'm listening. What's caught your eye?
Wow.
For me, it's those crystals. They're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Sheeta's necklace, that giant crystal in the heart of Laputa, even the robot's eyes. It's like they hold the key to understanding the whole story.
I think you're right. I mean, crystals are often seen as symbols of purity and clarity,
Okay.
power. And in Castle in the Sky, they represent that connection between the Laputans and their tech. But I also think they represent something deeper, like a connection to nature.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And let's not forget how they glow. It's like magical. They have this ancient energy, lost knowledge.
Exactly. They're full of wonder and potential.
Right.
But there's also a warning there. Remember that crazy, powerful beam weapon that destroys Laputa? Crystals can amplify power, but they can also be used for bad.
Ooh, yeah. Chills. That scene is beautiful, but also terrifying. It's like a reminder that even our most amazing creations can be misused.
And that brings us back to one of the film's big messages, right?
Yeah.
The importance of using knowledge and power responsibly. It doesn't matter if it's advanced tech or a glowing crystal. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
Okay, this has been bugging me. What's the deal with the pirates? They're kind of greedy, but they also have this weird charm. Are they the bad guys? Allies?
Oh.
Or just chaos in a bandana?
Yeah, the pirates, they're definitely one of the more morally ambiguous parts of the film.
Yeah.
They're in it for themselves, mostly. But they're also loyal, brave, even honorable in a weird way.
And Dola's the best.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
She's tough, she's smart, and she totally steals the show every time she's on screen.
She really does. And I love that she challenges those typical gender roles. Like, she's a rebel.
Totally.
Plus, she gets all the best lines.
Okay, speaking of memorable moments, the ending of Castle in the Sky always gets me. Every time. It's sad, but hopeful. And it makes you think.
It's perfect. It mixes all those emotions so well. Laputa might be gone, but Sheeta and Pazu, they still have its legacy. They've learned so much about compassion, the dangers of unchecked ambition.
Right. And they choose to go back to a simpler life.
Yeah.
They put connection and community first.
Yeah.
Not power or wealth.
Exactly. Which is refreshing, right? Especially today.
For sure. Okay, I think we've officially explored every corner of Castle in the Sky. We found all the hidden meanings, debated about pirates.
Decoded all the secrets.
What a journey.
It just goes to show that Castle in the Sky is so much more than a movie.
It is.
It makes us think, it challenges us, it stays with us long after the credits roll.
And on that note, it's time to say goodbye to Laputa. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with another deep dive.
We'll be exploring new worlds, uncovering the truth, and sharing those aha moments with all of you.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never stop looking for the magic in the everyday. Until next time.